I am going to make an announcement. Have any of you all been to the 10 o'clock on Friday, all graphic design, sort of professional development team meeting? Has anyone done that so far?
I have not.
Okay.
The
Sarah and
what?
Kathy, have you guys ever done it?
The what?
Well, and you know what? I don't know. I have not publicized it yet. Anyway, my understanding is that every Friday, starting week 2 of the semester, so I don't think it was the first week, but every Friday since at 10 o'clock, they have a team meeting. And it's just for art students, and it's really just for design students. And so it's all design students, no matter what semester you're in. And they have a visiting, usually it's my understanding is it's a visiting guest or a guest speaker, and it is usually a design professional. So it's either a marketing manager, graphic designer, social media manager, something, or specialist at a local company who comes to talk about what they do. And this Friday at 10 o'clock, oops, I might sneeze. Excuse me if I sneeze all of a sudden. This Friday at 10 o'clock, there is a design firm in town called Pure Red, and the owner and a designer from that firm is going to come talk. And let me see if I can see it. It's Friday at 10, and I will put out he's a graphic designer. He's going to answer questions. He's going to show about what he's going to do, what he does normally. And I will put the announcement in the announcements for this class. So anyway, I'm going to talk today about the Bricks Pizza brand guide, which I put on the class, and we're going to go through. That's a designer that's a former student of mine, and I might ask him to come talk to all the designers on a Friday coming up in November. So this Friday, there is a designer coming. It's a good speaker. And so if you can join at 10 o'clock, it'd be worth your while. Any questions about that? Have you guys done that? Is this a thing that you guys have ever done in the past semesters? Gone to see guest speakers and things like that on Fridays?
I haven't.
I actually have one of my classes. The past 3 weeks we've had someone come in it's on Thursday. We'll have somebody come in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And they'll talk for about an hour. Yeah, and career exploration.
Career exploration. And I think you guys were telling me that last week. Who came in last Thursday?
It was this new teacher we have, but we haven't really seen her that much. Her name was Jessica Smith. She's a freelance designer, and I forgot what school she graduated, but yeah, she currently teaches art class, but we don't see her that much. It's usually Rylan that takes over. So she came over and talked about her studio, her little freelance and what she does on the side, and yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And her name was what? Jessica something?
It was Jessica.
Okay. So it's similar to that, except it's for all graphic design students, not the students like you guys that are in that career development class. Okay. Well, great. Well, let's look at some of you guys. Let's look at y'all's logos. Anyone want to go first? Kathy, you're on my screen for some reason first. Do you want to share your logo?
Okay, let me do this real quick. Yeah, here it is. I took your advice and okay, so you saw my logo earlier the first time, and what I did was just took away the Manda boutiques because I realized, that's kind of unnecessary, and I was trying to think how would it look good if it was on a name tag, the clothing tag, or maybe at a store or a flyer, and I realized, that just kind of takes away all of this. But I get it, you kind of need it to
well, I mean, not for the logo. I think for the logo, this is good.
Of course. yeah, you have like a Mana boutique somewhere else, but like not for the logo. And I thought like, okay, that's fair enough. So I took it away. I still went with this color because I thought the pink was pretty. Again, it's a boutique for women, and I'm like, pink girl, yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna go with that. Yeah, I took the logo that was most liked from the previous like conversation we've all had. So I did that. Yeah.
Okay. And Kathy and I have talked about this quite a bit. Class, Sarah, any thoughts on Kathy's logo?
I like it. I think it turned out good. I like the color she chose and the font. It's nice.
Okay. Anything else you like about it besides the font and the color?
Just the design in general. I thought it was a good choice that she picked.
Okay. Elijah, what are your thoughts you have?
I think it's very clean. I like how it gradients from like the little thin point of the top of the heart to all the way at the very thick at the bottom. It almost reminds me of those like the breast cancer awareness ribbons that they do.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that.
Interesting. You're right. I mean, it's upside down, but it's still a similar idea. Yeah. Okay.
I think the only thing I might say personally is the A and B, like in the dots. I think it might look a little bit better if they were at the like mid section, like where the intersect is. Yeah, like around that point instead of up there. I think it might look better. Yeah, more like that. I think that might look. Yeah. I think that flows a little bit better.
There we go. Actually, and Kathy and I talked about the dots were farther out, I think, and did you move those a little bit?
I kind of moved them. Well, I shrank them a bit because I realized those are kind of big and stuff.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah,
good changes.
I had to make sure these were basically on the same like length, even though they look far apart and stuff.
Yep. Oh yeah. Okay. Yes, actually, the gradient, the change in width of your logo shape, the heart / teardrop shape, is good. That is a good thing. And we didn't talk about that. That you had sort of had that in your original design, so that does look good. Yes. Okay. Okay, good. Unshare your screen, and Sarah, you want to go next?
Sure. Okay, tell me when you can see it.
I think it's coming up. There we go.
Ooh.
Okay, tell us about it.
Well, I chose the red and green because when I first made my mood board, I had like a bunch of green, and you said that red was complementary, so I chose that kind of red because it didn't look so Christmassy to me. So the green looked more natural, and the red is more like a pinkish kind of color. I probably need to bump up the stroke size on the hanger because it fits like far away, but I mostly went with making the hanger on top of fashion because I wanted to have the logo be the word itself and something incorporated into it. So this is what I chose. And when you told me to do the hanger part of the H, like the hoop of it, be the H, I did that, but then it looks so big and kind of off. So I chose this design as my favorite one. And so this we went with.
Yeah, that was just a suggestion. Sometimes I make suggestions, and it's up to you. It might not look good. So
yeah, I tried it though because I just wanted to know what it would look like too.
Okay. Great. So Elijah and Kathy, if you don't remember, Sarah had the hanger around the re, and then in the rough process, the hanger moved over to fashion. So it's a change in that. Elijah, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
I think it looks pretty cool. I like the hanger idea. I think that was cool from before, and I like the color choices.
Thank
Yeah, I
you.
think the colors are working, especially the green that's not the Christmassy green. I think the red
Yeah,
being,
you really tried to get the right green.
yeah, that's a pretty good green. Okay. Elijah, what other thoughts you got?
Yeah, I think the comment about how it doesn't look like because it's so easy for green and red to fall into that trap of looking like Christmas colors, and I think that does a good job of avoiding it. And I like the font as well. It feels more modern, especially
Yeah,
considering
I'm not a big fan of serif, so I chose a sans serif to keep it simple.
Yeah, I think because with the original name, it felt a lot really like retro, classic, old school, and
Yeah.
so this is a nice contrast to that. I think that's a good font choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely good font choice. Kathy, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Like she did a good job of the type. It has like a really retro-esque feel. I like how it is. The color choices is fantastic. Of course, it's really hard to like have like red and green together without making it feel like Christmas, but I think she did a good job with the choice of the green color. Yeah, I just really like how she chose like the type because usually people would like take serif fonts or something. And sometimes when people just choose ones without sans serif, the type usually kind of doesn't really look good. But I think she did a good job making it work.
Yeah, I think it's working.
Yeah. I guess one thing I would have I think would have looked good, or maybe it's an idea or suggestion. Like, what if you like move like the coat hanger like to the back or something? You just like the letters are first, then like I don't know if I'm saying it. I don't know if I'm explaining it right.
Move the
like,
color behind the word.
Yeah.
The word,
Yeah, I could try that.
Yeah, I'm not saying just to do it because I think it would be better, but I think it's just a suggestion. Just like let's
Yeah,
see
I'll
what
look at it.
like. But other than that, I really like how you still kept like the coat hanger. It's great where you placed it, and yeah, overall it's pretty good.
Thank you.
yeah, I think it's working pretty good. I would definitely try to increase the stroke width of the hanger to just be a little thicker.
Yeah, I'm just not noticing that before I put it up there. So
Yeah, it's a little too thin, mainly, and the reason that you would want to do that is that you don't want the hanger to disappear when it's smaller. Um, I'm trying to decide. I think that I try it behind, or I also think that when you do the brand guide, I think if, let's say, in the background, we're going to talk about putting a background behind the word refashion.
Mm-hmm.
And if there was a background, whether it's be color or black or something, and refashion stays the green you have, but the hanger could become white and then cut through the letters. And I think that if it's a little thicker, I can't decide if I want it cutting through the letters in front of it or if I want it behind the letters. So that's something you've got to play around with a little bit.
I thought it looked more interesting with it in front of it, so I went with that for my first choice.
Okay. Yeah, because in the back you might not see it enough.
Yeah.
So this is very picky. So you work on that, change the width, get a little bit quicker, thicker. So, and I might be interested, or I am interested in Elijah and Kathy's question after I talk about this. So if we're fine tuning a logo like this, so it's looking pretty good. There's lots of good things going on. However, one thing is bugging me, and it didn't bug me when we looked at it in your thumbnail, Sarah. So the dash between re and fashion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that's just where it naturally shows up, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at it, it's not in alignment either with the crossbar of the E or with the crossbar of the F. It's somewhere, below the crossbar of the E and way below the crossbar of the F. And I think you ought to play around and move it to either one of those locations, directly even with the re crossbar or up. And so it sticks out in the opposite direction of the F crossbar. See what I'm talking about?
I'd probably line it up with the bottom of the E or like
that would be the easiest thing. Didn't see. Because right now where it's just stuck there, that little, it looks like it's a mistake. See what I mean?
It was because I typed it like all together and I didn't make the bar myself. So.
Okay. Yeah, just make it yourself and have it as a separate thing.
Yeah.
The only other thing you could consider is, and I did not notice this, maybe not as your primary logo, but as a secondary logo. It is interesting that both the A and the S have sort of a hanger shape in the top of the letters of the lowercase a and the lowercase f.
Mm-hmm.
If you especially the S, it's almost like you could have the hanger it would be thinner, be a thinner hanger, emulate the S, or hang off the bottom of the S and make the top of the hanger skinnier and match the S shape. I don't know.
Yeah.
Although I like the wide hanger because basically it comes out of the ascender of the H and comes in directly where the I is. So that's a great width for that.
Yeah.
So anyway, something to think about.
Okay.
Okay. So definitely they'll work on the dash between re and fashion.
Yeah, I'll fix that.
Yeah. And you could try and move it up with the F, just for sheer thoughts, but okay.
Okay. You want me to stop sharing my screen?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, these look pretty good. So I think you guys all turned them in. No, Kathy, you still have to turn yours in. So just turn it in assignment 7, and then we will, in the same place this coming Sunday, turn in the brand guide. But it should take 2 submissions. It'll keep the logo in there, is my understanding. It's what it's done in the past. Okay. So I want to talk about a couple of things. So we've got our logo. And so Sarah has refashioned the words in the logo. Kathy does not have the words in the logo, which is fine. So it doesn't matter whether you have the words for your boutique in the logo or not. But the brand guide is where you're going to do a lot of making sure you're trying to, basically the brand guide is to communicate with other people that are using your logo. Now, in Amanda's boutique, if it's a single proprietor type situation, it's not so important, but it becomes more important in the example I'm getting ready to talk about in a lot of detail with something like Brick's Pizza, where there's multiple locations and people doing all kinds of different advertising, and you're trying to have multiple locations and graphic designers and marketing managers have your brand be consistent, so that people aren't misusing it. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to talk about this brand guide.
I still need to show my logo. Yeah, I haven't done mine yet.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to think. I'm canceling. Elijah, show yours. Sorry, I don't.
Let me.
Thanks for speaking up.
Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yes. Okay, there it is. Sorry, got jumped way ahead.
Okay, so as I said, I went with the one that looks sort of like an angel and a flower as my concept for the logo, and I like using the font that's very curly, very it's called Bird of Paradise. It's very flowy, cursive to fit the vibe, because I tried to keep the same vibe. So the idea was, I put in the original design, I did not have this white line in the original design. That's where the text was in the first version, and you suggested putting the text outside of the logo. I tried doing it just pure vertically, but it didn't. It obviously, I don't think it fit with the way this thing looks, where it's all kind of wavy. So I had it at an angle, so they should be either the same angle or just about the same angle. And then, so the colors were rose gold, as I said before. So the bright pink, and then the light gold, and the white is sort of like reflects. So that white line I added where the text was because I wanted to fill in the gap of the big dress as well as get like a little like a shine, like it was being reflected by light, because like that's it's kind of the idea. And sort of the same thing with the little the head or the bulb of the flower right here, like this part. I tried to give that the same kind of little glowing reflection, sort of like an angel, or how like sometimes the bulb of the flower has a color.
Okay. Sarah, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
I absolutely.
Oh, you can go ahead.
Okay. I absolutely like the logo. I really like what you did with like the dress and like I think that overall it's really nice looking. I really like it how the dress looks and how like little gold shapes. I don't even know what they are, but I just really like them how it looks. I think it's pretty interesting how you put them to the side and side and like kind of like downwards for the type and the words for boutique Angela's. Okay.
Yes, Angela's boutique instead of Amanda's.
Angela. Oh, I don't know why I put Angela. I think my brain died.
Oh, I thought you would change. I thought you were going to tell us you would change the name.
No, I think I did by accident without realizing I did. Because I was thinking, oh, it's like an angel,
Right.
Angela's boutique, Angela, and I'm like, oh, I just now remember
It
it's
can
not.
work. Like,
I think you ought to change. I think you ought to keep the name.
Yeah, I think it actually works better now that I think about it.
Yes. Yeah. And I like it's Angela, or it's funny we don't say Angela, we say Angela. I like that instead of just Angel's Boutique. That I think that's working. Okay.
As for what these are, they're supposed to be either like it's supposed to be like a flower and a dress together. So like it sort of looks like an angel from the back. Like say it's like this is like the head of the angel, these like the wings, but it's also supposed to be like a flower that's budding with like this is the bulb, these are the petals.
Okay.
So that was the idea.
Kathy, what do you think?
I said like overall, I really like it.
Okay, so Kathy, you were talking. Sarah, do you have some thoughts?
I think that it's really cool, but it's kind of hard to read the words when they're being sideways. So if you want to try something different to make it more legible, that would work. But I like your design overall. The colors you picked are nice too.
Yeah, and I think I have to say I think the logo is working. So the logo is working great. Color's good, shape's good. Yeah, I think what you've got to work on is not the name, because I like Angela's Boutique, is trying to get the words to work better. So did you try having Angela's Boutique all the way over to the left in a line, like not split up, like in a line, like from the left going down?
Sort of like that.
Yeah, like over there, but in a line, like from what you could have Angela's way up at the top. Yeah, sort of like more like that. So leave it just like that for a minute. Class, what do you think? Yeah, Sarah and Kathy, better or worse?
I think it looks a bit better, but maybe it's this is my opinion. I really don't know how we feel about like going it for the words going downward, because especially with that font, it kind of like, to me, I can't really read it that well unless I kind of focus a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was just like how you usually put words in like from left to right, I think it'd just be more legible, and maybe he put it over top of the logo itself, or maybe under it.
Or maybe another way you could do it is, how about you just take the Hometown logo and just maybe rotate it, and then make sure like in like to where like the word are like below first, and then like there's a logo. That could be like an idea you could do, unless you don't like it, but
yeah, then you could have the Angela's Boutique like fit the same length of the logo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what you got to play around with some, Elijah, is the wording. I think the logo's great, but the interaction with the words in the logo. See, and the slant is problematic. I think it's going to be, I think you could make it work. I think if you had the slant be, slightly different here, that's worth a try. Also below, your flower is really not in a square. That's one thing. You sort of could put a shape around your flower angel logo and then have the Amanda's Boutique at the bottom or to the side. So I thought you ought to give yourself some choices. In fact, you could put it, do 4 or 5 different ones and email them to me. And we could sort of look and see, play around. Also, I like the font of Amanda's Boutique, but when it's slanted like that, the readability does get tough.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's the thing you got to solve is how are you going to interact? How are you going to, and that's fine. Actually, so for example, really and truly for this assignment, you've done the logo. So turn in the logo like you have it and take the words out. And then your brand guide is where you're going to figure out what to do with the words.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, good. I have to say your decision on the logo, just on the logo part, your decision to put the white line through the middle of the dress, I think is a really good one. And also your reflection of the sort of teardrop shape almost looks like you have the head of the angel and then a necklace above the dress, which I think is working really well also. So you got a bunch of things, working there. The whole shape is working. I think the gold is working very well. Class, do we like the pink with the gold, or would any other color besides this pink? Anyone have any other thoughts?
I don't know those choices he picked.
Yeah, I think the choice of color works pretty well. I like the golden and pink. Maybe if you're not in love with the color of pink, you can still play around and just try to find a good color that will mix well with the gold. Maybe the shade of pink.
And navy blue would also look good with the gold if you want to change it.
Possibly. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the pink is working. And is this just a boutique for women's fashion?
Yes, that was the intention.
Okay, great. Yeah, so let's work on, so this week as we're doing maybe by Wednesday, you can do one of the things you've got to do when we get the brand guide going is figuring out what to do with Angel's Boutique.
Okay. Should I stop sharing?
Oh yeah, stop sharing your screen. Okay. Can you share? Okay. Can you guys see the bricks brand guide?
Yeah, it's come up now.
Yeah, it's come up. Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to look through this. So this is a local brand guide. This is more extensive than what we want for this project. I'd say this is a very extensive brand guide. We're not trying to do this much, but it has a lot of really good parts, and you have some choices on what you want to do in your brand guide, and almost all those choices are in this brand guide as an example. This is a former student of mine who, it's interesting, he's really a designer, and I think that's one thing that's happened in the industry, and yet his title is marketing specialist. Let's go down here. So it's brick. Has anyone been to Bricks? No.
I don't even think I've heard of it before, aside from mentioning it in here.
Okay, it is a Charlotte restaurant, local Charlotte restaurant. So if you're ever in Charlotte, they obviously are not going to Salisbury yet. They need to. So we are not doing a cover per se. This assignment, we're doing a simplified brand guide. So this is almost like a complete printed book. It has a cover, it has an introduction, it has this mission statement that you guys are not really doing, although some of y'all have done some of the branding to go with this, with some of the words. Has a table of contents, so we're not doing that. We're really, on our simplified brand guide, we're starting with something like this. I wonder if I could zoom in a little bit on this. Or zoom out. There we go. Okay. So definitely in your simplified brand guide, you want to have a section where you're showing the logo in its different forms. So you have to show your black and white logos and your color logo. This brand guide has all these additional icons, which are interesting. You guys were not doing that for this. One of the things that, so this guy, the graphic designer, his title is marketing specialist, which I think is sort of a new title for graphic designer in a lot of places. One of the things that I think that students, you guys could make it easier on yourself. So for example, between now and when you graduate, you're going to be in portfolio. So now you've done a brand guide for Angela's Boutique or Amanda's Boutique or Refashion, and we're going to do a simplified brand guide that has this logo part. But when you get to portfolio, if you like this project, you could expand and do something like add icons to this project, and that would be something that would pump this project up and make it better for your portfolio. So just something to think about. So notice this brand guide does have a layout. It's pretty simplified, but I want you to have some layout, not just nothing as far as layout. Notice that the title has this little shape in it. It has logos, has shape in it. It has icons, a shape, typography, a shape, color, shape. So you need something like that. It would be good to use the fonts that you're using in the logo. Okay. So here is, we definitely want to just show how you're using the logo, both black and white and color, and then how you're using the type. In this case, they show how to use just the bricks wording and Woodfire's Pizza without having the round swoosh, as they call it, in there. Okay, so you definitely want to have that. You definitely want to have colors. They have a lot of colors. This tertiary color thing I think is interesting. Obviously, you get the primary colors. Those are really the colors I'm asking you to select. You could think about having some secondary and tertiary colors. It's making it a little bit more complex, but that's okay. So again, this is not really what we're doing for our brand guide, and it's an expansion. It is interesting. It's his instructions to everyone else, the other locations. This, I think, is very interesting. They are big on saying they're family friendly, but they don't want to say they're kid friendly. Interesting. They talk about the do's and don'ts for branding, which is really in our next project. So, and this is where they talk about they're don't want people to say kid friendly. They don't want to say, you know, Italian restaurant. So this is really not really part of the branding guide that we're doing, but it's interesting. So then this is when you want to start to show, this is what you can show in your brand guide. So they're showing how to use the words. So for example, let's use Angela's Boutique. So you're going to have the logo. Theirs is a logo, but word. Yours is the dress with the flower and the wings. But then you're going to show how is Angela's Boutique going to show up. And there's some choices. Look, it's under for one version, which is okay. Or when you have a horizontal space, it's to the side. So you can have both solutions. That's okay. Then everyone does, you guys, I definitely want you to have a section where you show the space, the clear space or the negative space around the logo, where you don't want other stuff to be infringing. You don't want to, you know, if you're saying, you know, happy hour Tuesday or pizza night, you know, Godfather pizza night or something on Thursday, You don't want anything else to infringe. So this is the clear space all the way around. And I want you guys to show that. This is a good place to, this is a good way to do it. They used one of the colors from the logo and they're saying, okay, don't put anything around here in the different things. Okay. So you definitely need to do something like that to show this clear space. Here's variations. You can do as many variations you want, but we definitely want to show the variation in black and white and in color. They have with this swoosh around it and without. Okay. So for example, you have variations, although there's not too much variations. I was thinking in, Sarah, you have the hanger, right, in refashion? Yeah.
Yes.
So this could be maybe refashion has a logo variation that you're going to say is okay without the hanger. And then you have the version down here, obviously it's very different with the hanger. It's a choice. Okay. Okay, so here's sizes. We're not really including those, but something to think about. Obviously, they don't want their thing to get too much smaller. I have to say, it's hard to see that B that size. So that's why they don't want it to get too much smaller. Okay, so this is something you can include in your simplified brand guide. And these are very simple, although this is what people do who are non-designers. They will compress it, they will stretch it, they will turn it. So you can have in your simplified brand guide some do's and don'ts. You can think of yourself, what are people going to do to your logo that's pretty easy that you don't want them to do? Like here's turning it green. Actually, the green looks horrible compared to the red. So that's good. They're showing don't make it an oval compared to the circle. Don't do this with the wood-fired pizza. That does look horrible. This, I can see if you're doing kids' night, someone might do that. Tell them, you're telling them not to do that. You can say what opacity you want people to use. So you can have some don'ts in your brand guide. Notice they're using a grid of some type. They're using some, headings. So here's the expanded. They're talking about all the different icons, which is interesting. They're using the swoosh. So they just took part of their logo and did other things with it. You guys have some opportunities for that. So you have the hanger. You can do various things with the hanger if you want. Like I said, hang it off the side, hang various things on it. You have the flower and dress logo, Elijah. This flower shape could be applied to different things. I don't know. It's a thought. So this is one thing you definitely have to include in this project, the type, how it's going to be used. What is the font? What is the two fonts if you're going to have it? So you definitely want to have an explanation of how the fonts or the typography is going to interact with your logo. Okay, they have different, they have copy font, email font, website font. Think about that. Okay. Here's the color. So you definitely have to include this, show the colors. I'm only really asking for the primary colors, but you can include some secondary colors. I definitely want you to list the CMYK formula and the RBG formula and the Pantone formula. You don't have to include the hex formula. In fact, I'm going to call him up and ask him what in the world he's using that for. Must be something specific for them. So then you guys get to choose. You have to I want you to put the logo on something or apply it to some item. So here he's got several ones. These are all choices. You could choose the business card like he's got. Here's the business card for different people. That's an interesting one. Here's a letterhead. You can put on that. That's very simple. I like the swoosh on here. He's got the little swoosh through the letterhead. That's interesting. Here is the pizza box. Your box. You could do a bag. You could do a tag. Interesting. Of course, he has a photo of the actual finished thing. That's a little bit harder for you guys to do. Then here is a menu. Obviously, we don't have a menu for the store. Here's a t-shirt, in-store uniform. You could easily put it on a t-shirt. This is menus also, so we're not doing menus. Okay. This is an advertisement, but you can put it on the truck, you can put it on the bag, anything like that. So he's got all kinds of stuff. This is where this brand guide has really become almost a media guide. It's giving the restaurants a lot of different versions, like here's Father's Day, here's lunch special, promotion posters. So they've done a lot of work for them. This is a great portfolio piece. Here's Happy Wine Night, Mom's Weekend Wine Night. So this is a thing that we're doing, the simplified version, that if you want to, you could expand this into a pretty good portfolio piece. This is a little bit longer. Obviously, this is 30 pages long. I thought it was interesting. They want all photo to be done in the location, like no stock photos used. Okay. Hard for you guys to do. Okay. Before I unshare this, any questions on or thoughts you have about this brain guide? Okay.
I don't believe I have any questions. I think it
Okay.
looks pretty good, though.
It looks pretty good. That's a very nice one. So this was just done in February of this year. So very recently done. It's a local one. Okay. Let me unshare here. Okay. I think I've unshared. So for you guys' brand guide, the things I want you to have, you can have different options, but you definitely want to show the logo and show how it is in color and black and white. Show your colors, explain the actual formulas, your color palette, explain the typography, what the font is, whether you can use it as italic or bold or not. And you guys are just making this up. And then you want to put it on something. And it's your choice what you want to put it on. And then show some imagery and how that would be used. So for example, the pizza imagery would be a good one. You want to show full pizzas. Like, I'm trying to think. So yeah, someone I know recently, who was it that was also, like, you have the hanger thing, Sarah, you could decide that you want a hanger to be hanging off every photo. I'm just making stuff up. So every photo has to have a hole in the bottom with a hanger sticking through it.
Yeah.
You can't do it anywhere. Okay. So that could be interesting. And you guys can make stuff up. You want to have something in your brand guide. So, like, Sarah, you might think that's a stupid idea of mine. I can call my own idea stupid to stick the hanger through there, but you can make stuff up. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be, you want to have something to talk about. And so it can be a silly thing like that. Okay. And then we're submitting it as a, now how are you guys thinking about, InDesign is a great place to do this in. You could do it in PowerPoint, you could do it in Publisher. How are you guys software wise? Elijah, what are you thinking about doing this in?
Yeah, I was thinking InDesign. That seems much more my speed.
InDesign is a great choice. Kathy, what are you thinking about?
InDesign.
InDesign, Sarah?
I'll probably use InDesign too.
Okay. So definitely make sure as you're doing your InDesign layout, sort of the general layout, don't put things right to the edge. Give yourself a border, okay? Have a page number. Decide how you're going to do your headers at the top. Have some layout design, have some design. Don't just have it, just list of bullet points on the page. Okay. Any other questions? Questions? Okay, so you guys have all turned in your logo, I think. Kathy, you still have to turn yours in. Turn yours in. So then when you're working...
Where do you have it in?
Assignment 7, the brand identity guide. You turn in the logo, and then we're also going to turn in our identity guide in the same place.
Okay. So, all right.
So
wait.
Wednesday, I really would like to see you guys have a draft layout. Have everything in there you think. Come on the class on Wednesday and let's look at it and make some changes if we need to. And then it's due on Sunday. So it gives us plenty of time. I would say for these, the logo, color, black and white, typography, typeface, you could get it all on one page, and there's nothing wrong with that. But 3 pages would be okay. You can separate in 3 pages. I think it's a little crammed to be all on one page. Although if you decided to put it all on one page, that's okay as well. It's a little much for 1 page. I think 3 pages is a good idea. And there are lots of other examples. I just picked that one because it's local. He just graduated. I say just a couple years ago. So it's certainly within the realm of your skill set as I'd say by the time you're at your 3rd or 4th year after graduating from your way in Cabarrus Community College, you could be doing something like this and getting paid for it, which is great. So turn in the logo. Let me look at that. And then we're gonna talk about your brand guide on Wednesday. Come on to the Teams meeting. And then on Sunday, the brand guide is due and you turn it in the same place, that assignment 7. It should be able to take 2 submissions. Okay, questions. So for InDesign, for some reason, I know I get Illustrator files in Blackboard. I know you guys just turned some in, which is great. InDesign files are getting blocked. So be sure if you do it in InDesign that you're saving it as a PDF and turning it in as a PDF or JPEG or something, not as an InDesign file. For some reason, the Rowan Community College Blackboard site is blocking InDesign file, or it has with other files people have tried to turn in this quarter. Okay, questions?
I'm still trying to find the way to turn it in. Is it in like step 2 brand guide or something? I'm trying to find where.
Oh, it is in, so you're in the brand identity project.
Okay.
And then at the very bottom, it has lesson 1, 2, and 3. And in lesson 3, it says assignment 7, brand identity guide.
I don't see anything. When I click on lesson 3,
Yeah.
It shows nothing. I don't know if
Really? Lesson 3 under the brand module 2.
In lesson 3, and I don't.
Lesson 3. Nothing's showing.
And nothing says. It just says no content is displayed for me.
Interesting. Okay. You know what? You might sign out and sign back in, although you've looked before. I will go in there and see if something's blocking you because, Sarah, can you see it?
I just went to go look at it, and I can still see it, but when I click on it, it just shows me my post. So maybe
Interesting.
make a separate thing for her to use. I don't know.
Okay. Kathy, I'll have to, after we hang up from this call, I'll play around and make sure that you're not blocked somehow.
Yeah. You're sure it's in module 3 in lesson 3?
Yeah.
It's module 2, lesson 3.
It's module 2, lesson 3.
Okay.
So go back out to course content.
Okay.
And it's module 2, brand identity project, because there's nothing in module 3 yet. Yeah.
Okay, that explains it all.
There we go. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. It's a little confusing. Okay, great. Thanks, Elijah.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other questions?
Nope.
Okay, so I will see you guys on Wednesday, and you guys will have a layout of your brand guide.
All right.
All
Okay.
right.
Talk to y'all later.
I'll see you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
I may stay on here 5 more minutes. Oops.